Here's Ron Franklin. Ron?
Thanks, Chris. The Southwest, where the landscape constantly reminds of days gone by when gunslingers were the arm of the law. Tonight, there's a new arm in town.
You know, pretty much just a pocket passer. I don't really like to run around too much. I like to sit in the pocket and try to find the open guy. Put some heat on the ball. I got the players, they respect me, and I respect them, and I think that it's a mutual type of deal. But we got some guys that can move and get going and go after the ball. It's a big game, you know, we're excited. We haven't won a bowl game in a long time, and we want to try to get one of those under our belt.
John Walsh, named after me, right?
That's right.
Oh, son of a gun. Best darn quarterback in the world, right here with me right now. And Duke's Ghost wouldn't lie to you, Pilgrim.
Welcome to the 1994 Weiser-Lock Copper Bowl, presented by Ford. Tonight, the Cougars of Brigham Young University, the number 21 ranked team in the nation, taking on the Sooners of Oklahoma. Hi, everybody. Ron Franklin, and you saw the shots just a moment ago. What a sunset we were treated to about 15 minutes ago here in the great Southwest, the scene of tonight's Copper Bowl game. Mike Godfrey joins me on the telecast as usual. And Mike, speaking of things of beauty, there are a lot of people that think that quarterback John Walsh for the Brigham Young Cougars, although he's only a junior, may be as fine a quarterback as there is in the country. Some people say he may come out early. Your thoughts on him?
I think for sure he's going to come out, Ron, and he's an excellent drop back passer. He has a very strong arm, and he's a very accurate passer. He has a very quick release, but if he has a negative, he doesn't have very good mobility. And in an age when they put a lot of pressure on the quarterbacks, you like a quarterback that can escape.
Well, as far as the Oklahoma Sooners are concerned, if you have not followed them this year, folks, they have had more injuries than Gary Gibbs could say grace over. Garrick McGee was his starting quarterback who had just come in this year. They thought everything was in motion. They had him plugged in. Things were going a little better offensively. He came down with viral meningitis. He's unable to go tonight. And Terrence Brown, who has played more wide receiver than he has quarterback, is going to be the man under center tonight.
Well, Terrence Brown has caught more passes than he's thrown. And when you look at Terrence Brown, if Barry Switzer's watching this game tonight, he'll like this game plan because there'll be a lot of passing like this, pitching the ball on the option. But Watson Brown, the offensive coordinator, has to find a way to get him outside the tackle box, roll him out, run a lot of options, and the whole game is in this young man's hands. Now he's going to try to turn his position into being called a quarterback and not a split in after tonight's game.
Well, on this beautiful night in the great Southwest, Mike Adamle, as usual, is our man on the sideline, and let's go down and check with him. Michael?
Well, Ron and Mike, it's been 5 weeks since Gary Gibbs announced his resignation as head football coach at Oklahoma. At the time, the announcement caught his assistants and his players off guard. Since then, reality has set in. It has been a tumultuous 1994 for this band of Sooners, but Gibbs is convinced that his players have the conviction and pride to play well tonight and not just mail it in.
Players, Mike, are very resilient, but they're also competitors. I mean, we went out and played a very hard-fought football game against Nebraska in our last football game and had some opportunities against an outstanding Nebraska team. Our players are winners. They're competitors. They've laid it on the line every week. You saw our guys play against Syracuse. You've seen us play during the course of the year, and the guys play hard.
Now, the Sooners are loaded with underclassmen, and if they need some extra added incentive for tonight's game, they need only to look at the press box.
So it's the Sooners and BYU. We'll be back for the opening kickoff in just a moment.
Good friends.
You look perfect. In fact, you probably are perfect.
Great lovers.
How far do you think too far would be then?
Maybe this.
Bad timing.
So I came after your fiancé?
No, you were 32.
Smashing climax.
It's pretty easy. Just say I do whenever anyone asks you a question.
I do.
Hugh Grant, Andy McDowell, 4 Weddings and a Funeral. Playing on DirecTV.
In a world of passion and power, an extraordinary family controlled the fate of a nation in the House of the Spirits.
It's my life.
The critics call it a 4-star masterpiece. A triumph. Meryl Streep, Jeremy Irons, Glenn Close, Winona Ryder, Antonio Banderas in the year's most provocative love story.
And I still love him.
The House of the Spirits.
Playing on DirecTV.
The Weiser Lock Copper Bowl, presented by Ford, is brought to you by Weiser Lock, quality lock set since 1904. And in part by America West, low fares and the respect you deserve.
Now the head coach is on the sideline as they prepare for this 1994 Weiser Lock Copper Bowl. Very familiar face. He has prowled that sideline at Provo for a long time. 23 seasons, 73% his winning percentage. Real irony for this young man right here. You see his numbers and what he has done, conference and also non-conference. He is coaching his final ball game tonight, Mike, here in Tucson. Oddly enough, he coached his first as the new head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners right here in Tucson. David Lauder has it teed up and set to go, and he'll be kicking off to P.J. Mills and Darius Johnson back at a dual safety for the Sooners. BYU won the toss, and they deferred to the second half, which in a way is a little surprising. Special teams beckoning for the faithful from Provo to stand up and make some noise, and this one is just about set to get underway. Lauder moves forward. Wobbly kick is going to come out of bounds at the 8-yard line. And let's take a look at the starting lineups. First of all, for the Oklahoma Sooners, and this is the way they will go. Terrence Brown, he's played 5 offensive positions. Split end, flanker, tight end, tailback, and tonight he's the starting quarterback. The wide receivers, Albert Hall is an all-conference receiver, but folks, there are only 2 healthy wide receivers for the Sooners. And up front with the offensive line, Chuck Langston, he is the steadying force, you might say, in the middle of that offensive line.
And we're going to get our first look at Terrence Brown, and you expect that they're going to run the option with Terrence Brown tonight. He's a 4.4 40, got good speed. He's an average passer, but this week in practice, Watson Brown said he's thrown the ball fairly accurate.
Larry Fisher, the referee tonight, and he makes the call. The penalty brings the ball out to the 35-yard line, and that's where we'll watch the Sooner scrimmage for the first play tonight. They go option on the first play. Pitches it back to Allen, and he's going to fight his way out to the 38-yard line. Let's check the starters on defense for Brigham Young on that 4-man down front. This has got to be a familiar name to you because Travis Hall has been a 3-year starter. Very tough on the pass rush, also wicked against the run. The linebackers, well, Muirbrook. He leads the team defensively. He leads them in tackles as well. And then the secondary, the best of that group, the coaches say, is the right cornerback, Patrick Mitchell. He has 4 breakups and 3 interceptions on the year. Second down, draw play. Moore will take it to the 42-yard line, and it's Dennis Simmons who makes the stop on him.
And Ron, here you look at Terrence Brown's statistics. He's thrown 3 passes, and he's a split end that caught 8 passes. So he's a split end playing quarterback. And as I said in the open, he'd like to change that tonight. He'd like to be known as a quarterback. But this is a Barry Switzer game plan. Run the option and run the football against BYU for Gary Gibbs tonight.
Third down, and the line to make is the 45. BYU creeping up defensively. He goes down on one knee. He lost his footing. He was knocked down by Udufale, but he had gone down on one knee, and they're going to spot him dead at the 38-yard line, and it's punting time for the Sooners.
Well, just looking at BYU's alignment, they're going to crowd the line of scrimmage with 8 people. There's good movement there. Chuck Langston really didn't get the block, the offensive center, and Terrence Brown went down, and they'll have to punt the football.
It did look like one of those offensive linemen kicked him on the ankle, Mike, and took his foot out from under him. Doherty with the punt, and Mike Johnston with the fair catch, and he will make it at the 22-yard line. So the starters offensively for the Cougars from Brigham Young University. Jamal Willis, rare bird, a 1,000-yard rusher at BYU, but boy, does he ever give them some great balance, and it really helps that passing game. Speaking of the passing game, a very talented group of wide receivers. Tim Nowatzki, though, is the go-to guy, number 42 out of Michigan City. And the offensive line, Evan Pilgrim gets a lot of attention at right guard. He is awfully good, as well as 76 Eli Harry, who lines up right next to him. Walsh on first down. They fake the reverse. Going to go up on top and got a man wide open at the 50-yard line. It's Willis. Breaks one tackle and he kicks it down to the 35-yard line. Bush finally got him.
Well, that's the way you like to start off a bowl game, because there's not a lot of pressure in a bowl game. Open it up with a fake here to the back. Now you fake a reverse. Jamal Willis is out of the backfield, and they caught Oklahoma up inside, expecting to run. Larry Bush not even around Jamal Willis, and a big play for John Walsh and the BYU offense.
So officially it is 43 yards on the opening play from scrimmage. They fake the reverse and throw the completed pass. Oklahoma gets caught in the middle of a shift here, and they run it back into the boundary, and Willis will take it for a gain of close to 5 yards in the play. And let's check the starters for the Sooners on defense tonight. At defensive end, Cedric Jones. He is only a junior, but he could be as good as OU has ever had at that position. Third in the all-time sack list for them. Tyrell Peters, the coaches, it doesn't matter. It's every play. He makes something happen. And in the secondary, Darius Johnson, he's a junior. The scouts really like him. In fact, they think that one of these days he's going to be playing on Sunday. Walsh getting pressure, throws it back into the boundary, and Willis fights it rather than catching it, and he throws it to the ground as he tries to snatch it down.
When you look at John Walsh, the quarterback, and you look at his numbers, 29 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, he stays in the pocket. He has a strong arm, and he's a very accurate quarterback. The quarterback, when you play at BYU, you've got to be a decision maker. John Walsh is the only deficit I see, Ron, is the fact that he doesn't have good movement. In an age when people blitz you a lot, I don't know if he can get away from the rush. He needs another year in school, but I figure he's out of here after this ball game.
Yeah, I think you're right. We'll get a shot of Robbie Bosco shortly. He's on the coaching staff, but there are a lot of people liking him to Bosco. Same style. Walsh under pressure, steps it up, and then throws it complete at the 23. Chad Lewis, the tight end, and he's going to have the first down by a couple of yards. So Walsh demonstrates right there, good, steady, doesn't get rattled and gets it away.
Well, I think the key for BYU tonight is to work their tight end and to work the backs against the linebackers, because I think that's where they have a little bit of an edge, because Oklahoma has not seen this type of passing game except by Kansas State in the regular season. I think they're outmanned with the wide receivers. I think Oklahoma's corners has more speed on the outside, so they have to work the linebackers.
He just joined us, the opening series of the ball game for BYU. For Oklahoma, it was 3 downs and a punt, and BYU doesn't want to get caught with delay of game, so they have taken a timeout. So let's take a break. 11:58 left to play in this opening quarter.
Hey, my Bud Bowl game card. You know Bud Bowl with Chris Berman?
You could win a cool $1 million. Plus, there's Vipers, Sea-Doos, and lots more. During January, follow the score on TV and where you buy Bud and Bud Light. Write it down and bingo. So, who do you think's going to win? Hey, what are you guys looking at?
The deal of the year on Ford Taurus is now even better because your lease payment is now even lower. Just $237 a month for 24 months on Taurus sedan or wagon. Or you can choose low 2.9% financing or $750 cash back. Don't wait to take advantage of these 3 great offers on Taurus sedan and wagon, because the deal that makes the best-selling car in America an even greater value ends January 4th. Ford Taurus.
The landscaping fell victim to the insect plague of 2004. Around 2019, a new use was found for automobiles. And by 2030, the house was on its 7th paint job. In truth, about all that's lasted since 1995 is the lifetime finish on the Weiser Brilliance brass handle set. Weiser Brilliance. Weathers a lifetime.
The Weiser Lock Copper Bowl, presented by Ford, is brought to you by Weiser Lock, quality lock set since 1904. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
By the way, the shot you're looking at, the MetLife Blimp, Snoopy 2, under the command of captains Tony Stevenson and Russ Adams. They typically cruise at about 35 miles an hour at an altitude of 1,200 feet. And under some beautiful skies tonight here in the Southwest. Tucson, Arizona. 1st and 10, BYU at the Oklahoma 22-yard line. Draw play, Hamuli. Going to be hit and knocked down behind the line of scrimmage. Broderick Simpson is the man who got it. A sophomore out of Dallas at 6'2", 221. And Tom Hayes told me yesterday, of all the people who have really taken a step forward and has helped tremendously on defense, it is that young fella, Broderick Simpson.
Well, this is a young football team. 19 starters will return next year, barring any player leaving for the NFL early.
So it's a loss of 1. It's going to be 2nd down and 11. Walsh under pressure, gets it away just as he's being tackled, and it is caught and taken to the 13-yard line. McGuire made the reception.
A nice job by John Walsh buying time. You can see the heady performance of the quarterback as he shuffles around, moves around. He's not going to run the football many times, but here he does a nice job stepping up in the pocket, buying time, and the tackle is made by Henderson, number 17, Rod Henderson. He's the extra DB. What Oklahoma's trying to do is bring in an extra defensive back in this ball game against this passing game.
So you're trying to get somebody on late, couldn't do it. 3rd down, very short yardage. Walsh straight ahead in the quarterback sneak. And it appears as though at the 11-yard line he's going to have it as Simpson is down at the bottom of that pile.
Ron, you and I both talked about this, and this is not the Orange Bowl. This is a great bowl, but it's not the Orange Bowl where you're playing for the national championship. Oklahoma's used to Orange Bowl appearances, and I don't know, you know, the question is, will they play tonight? I think they will. The pride of Oklahoma, the pride of the Big 8, but they can't expect to get down here early. I mean, they may pack the bags quick here, so they can't have bad things happen in this ball game early because they do not have a catch-up offense with Terrence Brown, a quarterback.
No, we saw that in the first 3 snaps tonight. 1st and 10. BYU can pick up a first down without scoring. Hamuli on the draw play again. Blocker in front, and that's a good tackle at the 7-yard line as Anthony Fogle came up and just stopped him in his tracks. Rolled him up.
That's the biggest concern you have as a defensive coordinator. You're Tom Hayes, and you're trying to stop John Walsh in this passing game, and then they run the football on you with that big offensive line. 335 pounds, Eli Herring. Evan Pelgrim is 6'5", 290. So they cannot afford to let them run the football. As you look at 295.7 total yards, a lot of games, second fewest in the Big 8 to Nebraska. So this is a good defensive football team.
And you notice that all these plays have gone away from Cedric Jones of OU. 2nd down, looking for the end zone, got a man wide open. It is a touchdown to Bryce Doman.
Ron, a great call. 2 things make this play. Number 1, they caught him in the blitz. Tyrell Peters on the blitz as you look at Robbie Bosco. But Larry Bush, the corner, Bryce Doman really cut down his split. He really had him inside so that he had a lot of room to work on the outside with the out route, and Bryce Doman wide open. Here's from the end zone. You're going to see the blitz. Tyrell Peters, number 45 on the blitz. Now the ball being thrown to Bryce Doman on the outside. See how far away he is from Larry Bush. I mean, he just worked the field with the tight split.
Well, Mike, I talked about the number of injuries that Oklahoma has had, And Darius Johnson, who is the best of that secondary, is the man who is down at the 1-yard line. You can see he is now up and coming off on his own power. But here's another one. They can't afford to lose anybody, but particularly the guy that has been your chief producer. 4 interceptions as far as pass breakups and just generally doing a good job. He has been a very steady performer. Lauder, the left footer, to attempt the extra point. Knocks it home, and Brigham Young goes on top early. 7-0. Let's take a break. 9:19 left in his opening quarter.
The landscaping fell victim to the insect plague of 2004. Around 2019, a new use was found for automobiles. And by 2030, the house was on its 7th paint job. In truth, about all that's lasted since 1995 is the lifetime finish on the Wiser Brilliance brass handle set. Wiser Brilliance. Weathers a lifetime.
Tomorrow, Doug and Ann Porter will watch their only daughter walk down the aisle. The McDades will embark on a retirement journey to Scotland. And the Sweeneys will pack the last in a series off to college. Tomorrow, the dreams of many will be realized, thanks to a simple broker philosophy.
We must never rest in our commitment to the individual.
For those of us at Dean Witter, like Dave Rieger.
Dave, are you still working?
We measure success, one investor at a time.
How Ford reinvented the minivan in 3 words. First, we widened it, giving you the widest stance for secure handling. Next, we made it big on safety with standard dual airbags and anti-lock brakes. Then we added the most room of all leading minivans for all your cargo and up to 7 passengers. And by sweeping away the old ideas, Ford created Windstar, a minivan like no other. The future belongs to the new Windstar.
7-0. Brigham Young jumps out on top, and that man right there, 4 of 5, 68 yards in that opening drive, each to a different receiver. 3:44 the time of the drive, 9 plays, 77 yards, and Mike, that's pretty doggone convincing, I'll tell you.
Ron, they caught him with that trick play to start off, and again, if this becomes a snowball effect, this could get ugly unless Oklahoma can find a way to move the football on offense.
Mills and Darius Johnson back deep again as Lauder sends this one 9 yards deep into the end zone. Darius Johnson happy to see that he is back on the field. He's not going to return this one. So let's see if this young quarterback can get something going on this series right here.
Be interesting to watch the secondary of BYU because I'm sure they're going to try to sneak Corey Cook or John Pollock, the 2 safeties, up to try to help versus the running game until Terrence Brown can prove he throws the football accurately enough.
It's more in motion, and we got movement before the ball was snapped.
Dead ball, illegal procedure, false start on the offense, 5 yards, repeat the down.
Age old, and you've heard it a million times, but a new quarterback and a new cadence, and it happens, and you just saw it.
Especially with a layoff in a bowl season, your practices are more relaxed in a bowl game than they would be during the regular season. Because you're trying to show them a good time, also your ball club.
Wants to throw it. Has a man open, and he hits him at the 25. It's ball, and he breaks the tackle. And this is where he can cause lots of headaches. Called the all-conference performer, makes the reception, and Mike, that's good for 30 yards.
But you know what, Ron? What's the biggest play? Look at number 3, Terrence Brown. After he made the completion, he ran down to Albert Hall. He's so happy. That's his 4th pass of the year, his first completion here tonight to Albert Hall. And I'll tell you, look at him run. I mean, he's so happy now. He's got a little confidence now. Now let me pitch that ball on the option, and we can get this thing moving.
Mike, I'm also convinced that if he has some success here early, that you never know what it might spark. We could have a heck of a high-scoring game, maybe. Going to throw again, and he's going to go on top. P.J. Mills, and the ball is tipped away. Nice job by Mitchell, the man we talked about off the top of the telecast. And let's go down to Mike Adamle.
We're running Mike. Trainer Dan Pickett, Oklahoma trainer Dan Pickett, said in all his years on the job, he has never seen anyone as sick as quarterback Garrett McGee. As you mentioned, he had a form of spinal meningitis. He lost 20 pounds as a result. For 15 straight days, he ran a temperature, spent a week in the hospital. He was actually cleared to play this evening, but obviously nowhere near game shape, so he is in civilian clothes. And Garrett credited his mom for his recovery, called her Dr. Mom, because she was with him round the clock at the hospital.
Terrence Brown goes straight ahead. This time they give it to Moore, and the fullback will take it to the 49-yard line. And now the Sooners with a third down, and they need the 46.
Ron, Gerald Moore is the best offensive football player on this Oklahoma ball club. He's got to touch the ball 20-25 times tonight. Out of the fullback spot, tailback spots, you see the 5.2 yards that he averages, but he has to have a big game to take pressure off Terrence Brown. Watson Brown with the signals, new quarterback. It cut back a little bit in their offense tonight.
I think the one thing that you'll see out of them, Mike, is more of the short passes, as you saw. More passes to the backs than maybe Oklahoma has been throwing. Blitz is coming, got a man open, and he overthrows him. That's what I was talking about. Getting the backs out into the flats and getting the football, but overthrew it because of the pressure.
Good series for Oklahoma because it was a good confidence builder. Now their defense has to go back in and stop John Walsh and this BYU offense. But a good confidence builder for Terrence Brown.
Daughtry waits for the snapback at the 35-yard line. 7-0 if you just joined us. Brigham Young here in his opening quarter. End over end. And it's going to be caught. Fair catch is made by Mike Johnson at the 10-yard line. 41 yards in a punt. We'll take a break.
The sounds of the holidays are coming your way with the best-loved holiday music of all time, performed by your favorite artists this month on Music Choice Channel 500.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. I'll be home for Christmas.
Caroling, caroling up and down, Christmas bells are ringing.
Let the joy of the holidays come right into your home with the world's best-loved music. And it's all on Music Choice on Channel 500 from DirecTV.
And have yourself a merry little Christmas now.
Before the zebra flips the pigskin to the gator.
Jacked up and juiced.
Before the Hail Mary becomes the Immaculate Reception.
Weeping in the stands.
Before fears become reality. Get analysis and previews of the day's games on a special ESPN College Bowl game day, Monday at 10. Glance back at the Orange Bowl and forward to the Rose Sugar, Fiesta, Citrus, and Hall of Fame Bowls. ESPN College Bowl game day. All you need to know before the Bowls begin.
7-0. Brigham Young on top, and they have the football for the second time tonight.
Ron, you look at this. Strength versus strength. BYU, the 9th best offensive football team against the 12th ranked Oklahoma defense. To me, this is the key to the ball game. Oklahoma must rise to the occasion here because they're not going to be able to score a lot of points in this ball game. You wouldn't think so with a new quarterback, so their defense has to play.
Fake the run out in the flat. Willis, maybe a gain of 5 in the play. Yeah, he'll take it to the 16-yard line. That's Darius Johnson who's there to make the stop.
John Walsh made 3 visits when he was a high school player coming out. He visited Miami, UCLA, and USC. And on his USC visit, he called Norm Child, the quarterback coach, and he said, if you'll take me as the only quarterback, I'll commit to you right here now from the University of Southern Cal's campus. And that's exactly how they got him.
Short drop this time, and he wings it out. Breaks the tackle at the 25 and out to the 30, McGuire. So McGuire with his second reception tonight, and he'll take it to the 35. And the Sooners got a little over anxious, and it cost them a total of 19.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Missed tackles. You can't miss the tackle in the quick passing game. And John Walsh is coming out here and playing pitch and catch with his receivers against this Oklahoma defense. Wide open receivers, not much pressure from the defensive line. They've had it their own way here in the first quarter of the BYU offense.
Tom Hayes told me yesterday, he said, don't be fooled by this system. He said, these guys run great routes. They have better speed than a lot of people give them credit for. And he said, it's difficult. I'm only on the draw play. And here comes a flag and the umpire. That could be a holding call against the Cougars as Brent DeQuasie is there to make the stop for the Sooners. Yep, that'll be it. So for the first time tonight, the Cougars are going to take a step back, having made the mistake themselves.
And Ron, you're right when you talk about the system, because he's 6 out of 7. John Walsh for 92 yards. They have a system. Oklahoma has better athletes on defense, but BYU has a system that they believe in offense. And we talked about John Walsh. I really believe this is his last game in college. I'd like to see him stay another year, but they signed a junior college quarterback named Steve Sarkisian. He threw for 695 yards in his last game. He's the best buddy of John Walsh, and he's only got 2 years to play. He's got 2 for 2, so I think he knows something that coaches don't know and everybody else doesn't know. He didn't pick BYU to sit in the bench for John Walsh. He came to be the starter.
I think you're right. Walsh is going to be sacked on this play. It is Chase and also Cedric Jones back there to get a piece of it. Well, Cedric, as we mentioned, 14 sacks, 3rd all-time for the Sooners.
And what makes Cedric Jones is he just comes off the mark as a pass rusher. Here's no one really blocking him. He's able to come back in and fall inside of Evan Pilgrim, the pulling guards block to make the tackle on John Walsh.
Cedric is a very quiet young man until he puts on this attire right here. Then you could see the kind of talking he does. Second down, they need it all the way up to the 45-yard line. Walsh over the middle has Nowatzki, and Nowatzki will take it to the 31-yard line. Well, the Thrifty Car Rental Bowl week. Friday, the Heritage Bowl from Atlanta, South Carolina State against Grambling State. Then the Holiday Bowl from San Diego, Colorado State, 10-1 against the Wolverines of Michigan. That one beginning at 9 p.m. John Walsh with a 3rd down situation now. The ball at the 31, then they need it just about to the 45. BYU leads 7-0. About to go under 5 minutes to play, opening quarter.
Got man coverage on the outside, so you look for the backs versus the linebackers tight end.
Gets it complete at the 45-yard line, and I mean he ran the pattern to exactly 12 inches beyond where they needed to pick up the first down, and Johnston was there, the pass was there.
It's Mike Johnston, who's a backup wide receiver, number 84, against Larry Bush, and that shows you the strength of John Walsh's arm. He can throw the out, he can throw the deep comeback, a very strong, accurate arm. The other thing you worry about in the bowl game is you look at Larry Bush, conditioning of your football team, because you take so much of a break and you really don't practice them hard when you come back to the bowl game, trying to show them a good time. It looks like Oklahoma a little tired in the secondary.
I would be too if I'd been covering this many bad plays, Michael. They're going to come with a run. It's Willis. Convoy in front. He'll take it for 2, maybe 3. Up close to midfield is Roderick Simpson. Gets outside to help shove him out. Good look at it. Pilgrim there, one of the pulling linemen. 6'5", 290, senior out of Antioch, California.
And he hurt his ankle in the middle of the year. Roger French, the offensive coordinator, said he never complained. He actually played through it. Had some games where he couldn't play 100%, but just stayed in the lineup and did not miss a game.
Moving at the line, but everybody got back. A distance throw. Hamouli in the flat. Close to the first down, not going to have it. He'll miss it by 1.5 yards. Well, that was a long throw to have to pull up and get it out there quickly, and he made it.
What has to happen on that, O'Brien, because John Walsh has such a strong arm and he can get the ball out there, now what you have to do defensively is when you come up to make the tackle, you have to be able to break down and not allow the yards after the catch. Hemahemuli made some yardage after the catch. I see he made the catch. Now he makes a move. Now he picks up an extra 4 or 5 yards because defensive players did not break down and make the tackle properly. Rod Henderson, number 17, with a missed tackle.
3rd down and short, and they need just inside that 45-yard line. Movement at the line of scrimmage, and this is going to cost him 5 yards. Look like James Johnson. And James has pretty good excuse tonight. He's working against that the Jones guy named Cedric.
On the offense, 5 yards.
Well, you're exactly right, because he wants that quick step.
Right.
He wants the step to be able to take and get the first punch into Cedric Jones because of the quickness of number 57, Cedric Jones.
Schwartz gets the signals from the sideline, and McGuire will come in, the sophomore out of Pearl City, Hawaii. 3rd down, and they need the 45-yard line of Oklahoma. 7-0. Cougars lead. First quarter. Swinging out in the flat. That's a great catch by Willis, and boy, he gets smacked. Broderick Simpson comes up very quickly, and I see now why the defensive coordinator said this kid has come on.
Ron, I'll give you credit. The other day in practice, you picked out a good one because Broderick Simpson showed you how to make the tackle in the open field against Jamal Willis.
Boy, boy, boy. That is a really fine play. And the 5-yard penalty was the motion penalty. Look at it. That's a nice catch by Willis, but he's there to snuff it out.
See, Broderick Simpson tackled exactly how you teach him to tackle. He ran right through the ball carrier.
Boardman to get this kick away from the 35. Good coverage kick. Darius Johnson has to retreat to the 9 and loses his footing. A couple of times tonight, the Sooners have lost their footing.
You look at John Walsh's passing chart. Of course, he had the one right off the bat, first play of the game, the long throw. But you see where BYU hurt you. Up to that 15-yard range, they hurt you with the backs. They hurt you with a tight end. Their wide receivers run such good routes. They don't have great speed, but they do a great job of breaking away from the
guys in the gap, Mark center gap.
John Walsh knows this offense. Norm Chow has taught him well. He knows and understands the weaknesses of the defense that they give him.
Sooners from their own 12. Option. Brown will take it to the 15. Now understand one thing. Garrick McGee has the experience. Brown does not. But when it comes to individual athleticism, now Brown is a much faster player. So a mistake by BYU and a play like that could turn into a 70-yard affair.
You're right. But the problem is he's so inexperienced.
Yes.
You know, everything he's doing tonight, as you look at Garrick McGee had most of the snaps all throughout the year. So everything Terrence Brown's doing tonight's new to him.
7-0 BYU. 1 minute and 50 seconds to play. Opening quarter. Here's the reverse. P.J. Mills has a block. 25. And he loses his footing at the 30. I think an equipment person might be looking for new cleats before this first half is over.
You're right. There's been a lot of slipping out there by the Oklahoma players. Takes a while to get used to what you want on this kind of turf. Here's the reverse. Just a quick fake up inside. Pretty good ball handling by Terrence Brown and the speed of P.J. Mills. Stephen Alexander, the tight end who missed the last 5 regular season games with a good block. Number 80, the tight end. Garrick McGee on the sideline. He's into this ball game. He wants to help his teammates.
You bet he is. 100% into it. Going to throw backside pressure. Here's the screen, and the ball is dropped by James Allen. And it may be a good thing, because there were white jerseys all over the place. Particularly Stan Ross was about there to knock him down for a loss.
Ron Gary Gibbs' last ball game tonight, heading up the Oklahoma Ball Club. I'm sure there's a lot of emotions running through him tonight. thoughts of the great times here. He was a player here as an assistant coach, and then to be removed as the head coach. A lot going through his mind tonight.
Option back into the boundary. Flag comes down late. And that is a really nice job by Randy Frank, senior out of Rexburg, Idaho. He's been a starter for 3 years. Both these two defensive ends for BYU.
Going back to Gary Gibbs, you know, when you look at this ball club, they're a young football team. 19 starters return, but to me, and I said it, and you and I talked about it, we talked at the Syracuse game, 5 of their first 7 football games were on the road, and they ended up 4-3 in that first 7. But that was tough for a young football team. When you look at the ball clubs, they beat Syracuse, lost to A&M, lost to Texas along the way, so a tough start in Colorado away, so a tough schedule for Gary Gibbs. And next year's schedule is a little easier. They lose Texas A&M on that schedule. They lose Texas Tech, and we'll come back to it. And they lose Syracuse and pick up SMU, North Texas, and San Diego State all at home.
Well, the penalty was declined. No holding call, but it's 3rd down and 10. Browns pass over the middle and off the mark at the 43-yard line.
Again, Terrence Brown showing you that he's not an accurate passer on every play. He was way off the mark here as he tried to get the ball to his tight end.
I asked Watson Brown yesterday, I said, what kind of percentage do you look, even with the plays you put in for him, what kind of percentage? He said, he may not complete, but 1 out of every 3. I don't care. I think, you know, that can help get us there.
If he gets 1 out of every 3, they'll be in great shape.
Daughtry to punt again, this time for the 15. They had the pressure on him. Line drive kick. Johnston from the 33. Sooners with good coverage, but a few missed tackles along the way. 50 Carnival Bowl week on Sunday. The Peach Bowl from Atlanta. North Carolina State 8-3. Taking on Jackie Sherrill's Mississippi State Bulldogs 8-3. 8 o'clock Eastern time. And then on Monday, the Hall of Fame Bowl from Tampa. That's where Mike, and myself will be. Wisconsin against Duke, 11 a.m. Eastern time. All here on ESPN.
We'll have to have our pregame meal about 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
It's an early start.
Yep. The beginning of what is always a very big day. Our situation, in case you have just come into your family room or living room and turned us on, 57 seconds left to play, opening quarter. Brigham Young in their opening series. 77 yards. They got 43 of them on the very first play to go in front 7-0. That's how we stand. Looking pass, tipped, knocked away, almost intercepted, and Broderick Simpson again with the play.
When you attack this Oklahoma defense, they have so much speed. The area you have to run, if you're going to run the football, you got to run it right at them because you got a size advantage of your BYU, but that quickness. But screen passes should be effective against this team as the way they run to the football. As Broderick Simpson's off to a good start, so I'd look for BYU to, as you see Tom Hayes, defensive coordinator, try some screens against this fast-moving defense.
Only 2 incomplete passes of the 12 that he's thrown. Dumps that one off, and it's Willis. Nice job of the safety valve to the 42-yard line. Broderick Simpson again making the tackle. We've got him officially. 5 tackles and 1 pass deflection.
He's a sophomore, 6 foot, 221 pounds, but been very active here in the first quarter with 33 seconds to go. If you watch this BYU system, Ron, it's a lot like the 49ers because there's always an outlet receiver for John Walsh. They have a 3-level passing game. They've got a deep route, they have an intermediate route, and they've got a short route. So they're always got a way to dump the football off.
And it's a great point. One of the reasons they throw such a high percentage, Mike. 8 seconds down to 7. Almost the end of this opening quarter. Walsh sets nicely. Good protection. Now it breaks down, and the pass is caught at the 45-yard line by Nowatzki, who came back to help his quarterback. And boy, Walsh really took a head-high shot on that one. It was Henderson who did it. That's the end of the first quarter. Our score, BYU 7, Oklahoma nothing.
Stuff. We all want stuff. And when we buy a new car, we want all the stuff. Dual airbags, power steering, power mirrors, air conditioning, a stereo, automatic transmission, a place to put a cup of coffee. Convenience stuff. What's really great is that you can get all this stuff on any of these Escorts for the same low price. That's called value. Escort is a great value. Compared stuff to stuff to its leading competition, Escort costs less, period. Ford Escort. Good stuff, great price.
From the majestic Rocky Mountain West to the scenic beaches of Hawaii, the 10 institutions comprising the Western Athletic Conference offer an unmatched blend of academic excellence, athletic achievement, and natural geographic beauty. One of the nation's youngest and most dynamic Division 1A conferences, 13 WAC teams made bowl appearances in the last 3 years. And more than 2 million fans enjoy conference home games each season. The Western Athletic Conference.
Wrangler jeans are soft and comfortable. And they get more soft and comfortable every time you wash them. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans. Perhaps the only thing more comfortable than a pair of Wrangler jeans is a warm pair of Wrangler jeans. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans.
Historically, whenever you had a problem in your neighborhood, there was always someone to help you, just when you needed them most. Today, you can still rely on Thrifty. Simply use your Montgomery Ward credit card at Montgomery Ward Car Rental at all Thrifty locations. So whether you're traveling in your neighborhood or to someone else's, we're there. Your neighborhood Thrifty Car Rental, historically known for low rates.
You can't play in the Super Bowl, but Edge can get you closer than ever in the Edge Ultimate Super Bowl Instant Win Game. If you win, you and a friend will head to the sidelines with NFL Films on an all-expense-paid trip to Super Bowl 29 in Miami. Just look for this ad in most Sunday papers January 15th for your chance to win instantly. The Edge Ultimate Super Bowl Instant Win Game. Ultimate closeness. Ultimate comfort. That's the Edge.
7-0 BYU leads at the end of the first quarter. And what do you say? Let's scout John Walsh.
When you look at John Walsh and the arm strength that he has and the ability, as you see, to throw the deep comeback here, just throw the ball right on the money. Footwork, as we watch his footwork now, he's able to move up into the pocket, dump the ball off. Footwork in the first quarter has been very good. The only problem, as I said before, is his escapability. He doesn't look like he has quick feet to get away from any kind of rush, but that's not a big knock. I mean, he's got all the other things. He's 12 for 14, 139 yards here in the first quarter. Can't play much better than that.
Play selection, 6 runs, 14 passes, BYU. 7 runs, 5 passes, Oklahoma. Fakes the run, drills the pass, complete at the 30. Oh, what a hit. McGuire caught it. He got bratted by Darius Johnson. Football came loose. Oklahoma says they have it, but the official says, nope, the play's dead.
Ron, it reminds me of a comment that as we look at John Walsh again, the good, strong throw, but when I talked to Gil Brandt, he talked to a former Cowboy personnel director, he said 2 positions in the NFL that they draft higher than they should is quarterback and defensive lineman. That's why so many in that position fail, is because there aren't many defensive linemen, and quarterbacks, they want to be better than they are. Keith Schuler, for example, had a tough first year in the pros. Of course, he's going to continue and be a good, solid quarterback, but sometimes you draft a quarterback too high.
Bryce Bowman on the reverse, and the quickness of the Oklahoma defense, one of the reasons a play like that just doesn't always work. Sterling Lucky who got out there to make it.
Well, you figure when you have a fast running defense that a reverse will work against them because they're always running. But the one thing is they've got quickness to be able to get back in position. Sterling Lucky, number 56, was not fooled by the reverse as they bring him over to the sideline. Tom Hayes needs to keep this ball game close. He knows his job tonight. He knows he's working with an offense tonight that's
got to have a stop right here.
He's got to play defense. He's got to have a stop.
Brent DeQuasie has just come back in at the linebacker replacing Lucky. Short drop this time. Pass over the middle. I think he got it. He did. Chad Lewis. And Interestingly enough, in visiting with the coaching staff from BYU, they simply said this may be as good a pair of tight ends as they've had up there. Lewis shows why right there.
Well, Chad Lewis is a walk-on, and what he ran on this pattern was just an option route. He just like in basketball, you find the open area and you hook up, and that's exactly what he did. He worked down the field, found the open zone, just hooked, and made a great catch. He's a 6'11" high jumper, so a pretty good athlete. Walked on at BYU.
Shotgun this time, pressure up the middle, gets his pass away, he's got a man there, and it's caught by Nowatzki. First and goal, BYU.
Receivers and running backs from BYU are putting on a clinic here in the first half of how to get open when you don't have the most speed. In other words, there's no one who ever convinced me that Tim Nowatzki has more speed than Darius Johnson of Oklahoma. But he runs a great route, and he's able to stick the defender and then break away from him. Nowatzki, number 42, find the open area, and the ball's right on the money again from John Walsh for the big completion down to the 4-yard line.
Cougars leading 7-0, and now with the first and goal. If you look at the passing yardage, in this one, comparatively speaking, early. Walsh drills the pass in the middle, incomplete. Looking for McGuire, and Larry Bush knocked it away.
Larry Bush should have had an interception on that play, Rod. He stepped right in front of the throw. The ball was thrown right to Larry Bush. He just couldn't handle the football for the interception. John Walsh throwing the ball right in your living room. You see number 31, Larry Bush, just step inside, just couldn't hold on to the football. Mike Johnson, number 84, was the intended receiver. Now here's where a big back like Willis comes into play. Hema Hemuli also is 6'2", 210, so they got two big backs.
You know, they've covered a lot of pass receivers already. You can see hands on hips, and those cornerbacks a little bit winded. I'm with you, though, Mike. I think Hemuli is the situation you might look for here.
Yeah, both these big backs give you an excellent possibility down here running the football.
Show BYU with a timeout. 13 minutes and 34 seconds left until halftime. BYU 7 and Oklahoma nothing.
The landscaping fell victim to the insect plague of 2004. Around 2019, a new use was found for automobiles. And by 2030, the house was on its 7th paint job. In truth, about all that's lasted since 1995 is the lifetime finish on the Wiser Brilliance brass handle set. Wiser Brilliance. Weathers a lifetime.
The Mercury Villager is both versatile and easy to use. Allow us to demonstrate. It seats 7 comfortably. Rear passengers can listen to music in private. Middle seats fold down into tray tables. And with Villager's sliding rear seat, you just slide it forward for more room. Or remove the middle seats and slide all the way to the front. Proving the Villager is so easy to use, even well, let's just say it doesn't take a genius to figure it out. Villager from Mercury.
5, 4, 3. The champagne's not Corbel.
3, 4. Corbel, for people who know champagne.
Dean Witter believed in listening.
Listen, not only to what our clients say, but what they mean. Each client has a level of comfort. Endeavor to find it. We measure success one investor at a time.
Is brought to you by Wiser Lock, quality lock sets since 1904. And in part by Lincoln Mercury and the complete line of 1995 Lincoln and Mercury automobiles.
We are back at the Wiser Lock Copper Bowl, 7-0. BYU with 13:34 left until halftime. And right now the Cougars with a 2nd down and goal, and the ball is just inside the 4. And Lavelle Edwards, Roger French standing next to him, his offensive coordinator. And the Cougars back to the line of scrimmage, trying to make it 14. Willis running play to the right side. Boy, he's going to get stuck. DeQuacy, one of the first men out there, along with Martin Chase, to make the hit. And also David Campbell and it's going to be a loss of 1. So it's 3rd down BYU. Mike, this is huge right here, as you mentioned, because Tom Hayes knows that they simply can't afford to give up a bushel of points here early and then have to try to fight uphill.
Well, there's no doubt about it, Ron. Now you look for the tight end here. Chad Lewis, number 96, or Mealy, number 95. Some type of crossing route.
Nowatzki in motion. Short drop, got his man there, and hit an incomplete Chad Lewis. Really got tagged, and he got tagged by Anthony Fogel.
Chad Lewis was open. Just a little hook route. Anthony Fogel with a good play. Looked like this ball should have been caught. John Walsh over the middle, right in the hands of Chad Lewis. Just dropped the football.
I think maybe some of those hands that the ball came through might have been a little bit of a distraction as well. Lauder, 1 of 2 from this distance. They'll put the ball down at the 12-yard line. Nowatzki to hold as BYU tries to go on top 10-0. Flag comes down as the kick is good, and let's check the marker. So the penalty is against the Sooners. That'll come on the kickoff. The extra point is good, or the field goal is good at 22 yards, and it is 10-0. Brigham Young on top in the football game. Well, as you look at Gary Gibbs, we spoke of the new coach, Howard Schnellenberger. Won a national championship, 1983 at Miami. 4-0 career bowl record, 41-16 record at Miami of Florida. And his record at Louisville, 54-56-2. And Howard Schnellenberger has just joined us in the booth as he almost did a backflip. Howard, congratulations. And probably my first question, a lot of people would like to know, why Oklahoma?
Well, Oklahoma obviously is one of the teams that has the finest tradition in America over a lot of years, 6 national championships with an opportunity to win another. I look forward to working with them over this next several years and work hard to see if we can't get the team back at that level.
Howard, I know a lot of people in the state of Oklahoma, and they said this had to have been one of the best kept secrets in the history of that state, since maybe it was a territory about you coming there.
Well, Donnie Duncan did a very super and a very professional job of making the selection and keeping it right down to the last day.
Howard, at Oklahoma, they're used to pitching the ball like this. That's their throwing game. Of course, I know you're going to take the passing game there.
Well, we certainly are, Mike. We're going to try to develop this attack like we normally do. It may not be able to be done completely in the first year, but over the long haul, we certainly want to get back to the Miami Dolphin offense.
Let me ask you another question, Coach, as you see the kickoff return. Texas is a big recruiting area for Oklahoma. Have you considered retaining any of the staff members that are on the staff at Oklahoma right now, and how do you intend to get to Texas to recruit?
Well, we certainly do. We've talked with every member of the staff here at the University of Oklahoma. We'd like to incorporate as many as we could with the staff from the University of Louisville, and there's some people from the outside that I'd like to evaluate as well. Obviously, Oklahoma and Texas have to be the backbone of this program. And we're certainly not going to give up on those great areas in Florida and Chicago and Cleveland and Detroit, St. Louis and other places. But 17 from Oklahoma and Texas, and the balance from east of the Mississippi.
Howard, 19 of 21 starters back. But you may, I know you want to get there quickly because you don't want anybody to go early to the NFL. I'm sure that's a thought to get in there right away.
Well, this is a good-looking football team coming back, even though they're having a little trouble here tonight. They're playing a good football team with a quarterback that's not prepared to lead this team. But it's a good nucleus coming back. We need to do some things that will ensure that we play with a lot of heart and a lot of gusto.
Let me just say this, Ron. I don't think for the Oklahoma people, they couldn't have hired a better coach. And they got a good man here and an excellent football coach. And I think you're going to be very successful at Oklahoma.
Well, Mike, I appreciate that very much, Ron. I always enjoy working with you.
Thank you very much.
Hope to be on your program from time to time.
Well, I think particularly if you bring this ball club or hold them together and add a few more great recruits, I'm sure that will happen. You got to really hit the ground running, don't you? Because recruiting, everybody's working at a fever pitch right now.
Of all the years for the first February first Wednesday in February to come on the 1st of February was a bad time because we lost a week. You're right. We have to really we really got to hustle and get after it.
Howard Schnellenberger, the new head coach at Oklahoma. Thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you, Ron.
Good luck to you.
Thank you, Mike.
Nice gentleman, Ron, and I'll tell you, he is going to do a great job there, and I commend Donnie Duncan for the hiring of Howard Schnellenberger. I think he fits the league perfectly. He'll bring the passing game. Bill Snyder's already throwing the football fairly successful there at Kansas State, and I think Howard's going to add to it, and it's going to be a nice head coach for the Sooners.
Good job by Daughtry then to bring down that snap, and he really laced it. Johnston all the way to the 22-yard line, breaks off the tackle, and now here comes a flag. I don't know if it's a face mask or not. Hires the man who was down there battling him. It's a 53-yard kick. Now let's see why they threw the marker at the 26.
Clip on the receiving team during the return at the distance from the spot of the foul. First down.
So we'll take a break. 11:05 until halftime. The Cougars by 10.
It has a 16-valve Z-Tech engine that's the best highway fuel economy in its class. A Micron air filter to remove dust and pollen, as well as 14 other features not found on any other car in its class. Introducing the all-new Mercury Mystique. When we created this car, we pulled out all the stops. The all-new Mystique. It's a whole new Mercury.
When you have a cold, doctors agree the best way to get medicine is little by little throughout the day. But this is a little extreme for a cold. That's why Contact was invented. Contact's tiny time pill technology works fast to relieve your runny nose and stuffy head. Then it keeps releasing medicine little by little for 12 continuous hours of relief, like an IV. No ordinary pill like Sudafed or Dayquil can do that. Continuous action Contact. Relief that's fast, relief that lasts.
This is safeguard season. This is a season for germs.
I think every locker room's got three things in common. Sweaty guys, germs, and some serious body odor.
Wow. Safeguard antibacterial soap eliminates more germs that cause body odor than regular soap and helps keep germs from coming back.
Hey, no one should smell like a locker room. Not my team, my sons, or me. And with Safeguard, we don't.
Safeguard against germs.
10-0 BYU, second quarter, just over 11 minutes to play until halftime. And the Sooners right here, looking at the Cougar offense with a first down deep in their own territory, just across the 10-yard line. There was a clip following a 53-yard punt. That one batted in the air, and that's Cedric Jones, number 57, who got a hand on it. And let's go down and check with Mike Adamley. Mike?
Well, Coach Schnellenberger talked about talking to the Oklahoma assistants, but he's had little or no contact with the players. What do they think about their new coach? Here's Garrett McGee's thoughts.
We've read things, we've heard a lot of things that he'll be strict on us, and that's something our players, have talked about during the bowl game. We feel like a team with a lot of talent need a real strict coach, on them all the time, just real strict with them. And so we like that part of it. We haven't, really met him as a team. So, we're not sure about him.
Pass incomplete at the 15-yard line. And a nice job by Oklahoma defensively, both on the pass rush and also on the cover.
It's always amazing to me. The players always say about they want a strict coach, and they have a strict coach, but it's, they want to appeal to the next guy, and believe me. But Howard, he will be a strict coach.
Walsh, 0 of his last 4. His numbers on the night, 15 of 21. Third down, and he needs the 21-yard line. Got away, lofted it, and has a man open. Willis across the 45 all the way out to the 47-yard line. And I go back to a point that we made in the booth on a break just a while ago. This is something that BYU does as well as anybody, and that is ad-lib for their quarterback when somebody's covered.
They may do it better than anybody in the country because you can't practice a scramble situation because a play, it just happens. But you have scramble rules. When your quarterback starts to move, receivers, when you're on the boundary, you have to take off up the field. Jamal Willis did that. If you're a receiver in the middle of the field, you want to come to the sideline to the quarterback to make his throw a little bit easier. And Norm Chow has just done a great job on the scramble rules for his wide receivers and quarterbacks.
That's 5 catches now for Willis. Little counter play. A 2-way. And he is going to be whacked down behind the line of scrimmage. Let's see where they spot it down at the 42-yard line, and it's Broderick Simpson. And it seems like every time he makes a hit, we get a huge groan from the crowd.
Well, he's got a groan right now himself because he's hurt. John Walsh throwing the football tonight. Haven't had a lot of success running the football, but they've been able to keep this defense on the field. You look at tonight versus BYU, they've already passed what they did in 11 games, giving up pass yardage. The Oklahoma defense. When you look at the teams they played, Colorado's a throwing ball club. Kansas State, of course, throws the football quite a bit. This team probably throws the ball more than any of those two teams that they've played.
Walsh going to carry, and you have to believe that that was a broken play right there, because once he wanted to either fake or hand it off, and then he just headed for the sideline.
If you're Gary Gibbs, Ron, the though's got to go through your mind is we got to get some offense. I mean, you cannot continue to leave this defense on the field. Now, offensively, I don't know what the plays are exactly right now. We'll check that, but this defense has been on the field most of the first half in situations where BYU's putting a lot of pressure on them. The offense of Oklahoma has got to keep the ball away from John Walsh. They got to sustain something.
9:32 left until halftime. 10-0 BYU. On third down, lob the pass, has his man open. Hamouli breaks off a tackle and is going to take it down to the 25-yard line.
Hema Hamouli, and when you look at the success of BYU's throwing game, they've always got running backs that can catch a football, but the start of it is offensive line play. Eli Herring and Evan Pilgrim giving protection to John Walsh, and then he caught him in 2 deep coverage and got Hema Hamouli right down the middle. Malin Wesley, number 5, trying to bring him down. Finally, it's Rod Henderson, number 17, on the tackle.
I'd say that that was a pretty good balance on the part of Hamouli if you look at the numbers. 256 yards. And here comes the reverse. Nowatzki. I'm not so sure he didn't want to throw that football, Mike.
He was going to throw the ball to Bryce Doman, number 11, but smart heads-up play by Tim Nowatzki because Oklahoma played the play and had it covered. So what you want to do, you don't want to throw the interception. Just pick up what you can pick. Here's the play to Tim Nowatzki. Now, he's looking for Bryce Doman downfield, but he made a decision, and a smart decision, to pick up some yardage. Finally tackled by Colin Rosenberg, number 27. This game is slipping away from Oklahoma. They cannot allow another score by John Walsh.
Well, the big plays is something that Tom Hayes said. Well, that was one of the 3 things that they simply couldn't allow to happen. 2 huge third down plays already. But the end zone, was it caught in bounds? Yes. Touchdown, Johnston.
Ron, you know the thought that comes to my mind? One team that's got a coach that's been over there for over 20-some years, and they're playing tonight another team in a transition that's lost their coach and lost their coaching staff and really doesn't have any direction tonight. And the motivation, I thought that they would play hard, and because of the competition thing, but it just doesn't look to me like the same ball club I saw against Syracuse the first game of the year.
No, I agree with you. 8:18 left until halftime as Lauder hits the extra point. And take a look at this catch. 17-0. And look at this. Foot in bounds. Yep.
After a lifetime in the public eye, former First Lady Tess Carlisle retired. But she did not go quietly.
What do we look like, waiters?
Just ask the Secret Service agent.
It's the worst assignment there is.
Guarding Tess.
Do be kind enough to get my ball.
Why me?
Because I like you, Douglas.
Please hold for the president.
You know, maybe you two have some kind of sicko thing going on.
No, sir. No,
Guarding Tess.
Playing on DirecTV. DirecTV presents.
My dream told of the wolf that would lead us.
The wolf is a great hunter with a warrior's heart.
I'm warning you. Don't go back up that mountain.
Wait, Fang!
Playing this month on DirecTV.
Thrifty Car Rental Bull Week. It's the only solid week of bulls on television. Tomorrow it's the Heritage Bowl when Grambling takes on South Carolina State. Tomorrow at 1, only on ESPN.
The new Fab Five are coming out, but Quanzo Martin and the Boilermakers have plans to crash their Big Ten opening night when Purdue takes on Michigan. Tuesday at 7:30, only on ESPN.
Great look from the air, from the blimp at Tucson in the Copper Bowl. BYU 17-0.
On this Oklahoma team season went down when Bryce Bevel made that play. It seemed like everything kind of turned around that ball game. Syracuse, they were fortunate to hold on to that win.
I had a feeling they were going to score maybe in the 50s if they scored that touchdown at night when that ball was knocked away.
It just seemed like everything unraveled after that.
Jeff Frazier is one of the deep backs for the Sooners. Lauder's kick, and this one a knuckler. That thing is not going to make it out of bounds. You're going to have to pick it up at the 20. And Rose will take it to the 22-yard line. Here's the scoring drive. 8 plays, 89 yards, 2 minutes, 47 seconds. Walsh, 3 of 5, 95 passing yards.
He can't be any much better than he has been tonight. He's been right on the money. He's made some plays, moving around the pocket. Receivers have really got themselves open in scrambling situations.
Oklahoma's offense has got to keep the defense on the sideline. Here's the difference in plays, 34-15. Only 15 snaps for the Sooners in this first half. And they just keep this one on the ground, and it's Moore who will take it out for a gain of about 3. And let's go down to Mike Adamle, who has a special guest.
Well, you put a number 9 on his back, and you'd swear John Walsh looks like this guy. Jim McMahon, one of the all-time greats at BYU. Have to be impressed by what your alma mater's doing tonight.
It just goes to show you what a good offense can do out there. You know, you get to throw the ball a lot, and the guys are open all over the field.
Jim, is it the players or is it the scheme?
I think it's got a lot to do with the scheme. You know, guys have come through here and put up great numbers, and John's doing the same tonight.
You know, the one guy who jumped about 2 feet off the ground when he saw you tonight was Lavelle Edwards, and I'm sure it was great for you to see him again.
Well, I haven't seen Lavelle for a while, and he was always great to me while I was here. I spent 5 years with him, and he's a good friend.
From what you've seen of John Walsh tonight, you impressed? Is he ready for the NFL?
Well, from what I've seen, yeah. You know, he's throwing the ball real well, and it all depends on who he gets drafted by, because, as you know, in the pros, sometimes you don't get to do the things you get to do in college.
What about your future?
Well, I'm going to be somewhere. You know, hopefully I'd like to be back here with Arizona, and the weather's great. Get to play golf twice a week, and we'll just see what happens.
Young Zach got any quarterback in him?
I don't know. This kid never sits still. If he's like his older brother, he'll play hockey.
Okay, Jim, great to see you. Say hello to Nancy, and I'll send you those Gladiator T-shirts, man.
All righty. Jim McMahon.
He makes a good point, Ron, on system.
On who picks you up.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
It's a good point because...
and he knows as well as anybody because he's been in some that he liked, and really there was great harmony, and then he's been in 1 or 2 that he was not so wild.
Well, there's such a thing as a fit for a quarterback and an offense, defense, the whole thing.
Muirbrook is the man who gets across to make the hit, and that play was doomed from the get-go as the pitch was almost awry.
Looked like a snap as he gets a snap, but again, penetration by BYU up front. They're not allowing Terrence Brown a lot of movement on the option. He really doesn't have a chance to make a decision on whether to keep a pitch. He's always grabbed before he can get away from the center box.
Yeah, you're right, Mike. The front seven for BYU, when they're using three linebackers, has really gotten good penetration. This time they only have 6, and they still get good penetration. Got to be third down and about 11. Well, coming up, NFL Game Day on Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And then don't forget NFL Prime Time, a review of the playoff games at 7:30 Eastern Time on Saturday night. All here on ESPN.
And in all fairness to the offense, to Watson Brown and Gary Gibbs tonight, without Garrick McGee, I mean, they've had to shift some of their offense, and they've really tried to go back to the ground game a little bit. Now here's where a guy like Terrence Brown's vulnerable to throw an interception.
Tripped up, sacked back at the 20-yard line by John Ross.
The last thing you want to do is put a quarterback at Terrence Brown, inexperienced, and a running quarterback in third and about 15.
It's a loss of 13 yards, Mike.
John Ross, number 51. Now they just pin their ears back and rush the quarterback. Beats the block of Broderick Roberson, number 62, to get to Terrence Brown. And things do not look good for the Sooners.
No, Mike Johnston. Back deep. They're coming after Daughtry. Wobbly kick. I don't know if they got a piece of that one or not. Hard to tell, but they were very close. 35 yards in the kick. And again, BYU will take it over with very, very good field position.
And as the Oklahoma fans are watching this ball game tonight, a lot of the BYU offense that you see will be this type of offense that Howard Snellenberger runs and brings with him to the Sooners, because it's the same type of drop back passing game that he's going to use. It's the Miami Dolphins system, a little bit more Miami Dolphins and Don Shula's system for Howard Snellenberger.
I think Jim Freeland, reserve linebackers, did get a little piece of that last kick as Willis takes it for a couple off right tackle. Where you're seeing some sensational aerial shots tonight. The MetLife blimp, Snoopy 2, providing aerial coverage of the Copper Bowl for ESPN. This blimp travels over 60,000 miles a year to cover sporting events and television specials across the United States. MetLife blimp, Snoopy 2.
Ron, this is only half I've ever can remember watching Oklahoma where the Sooner schooner might just stay in harness there.
Yep.
The ponies aren't even going to get lathered.
Well, you know, the thing that you do without being able to have a passing game is you take Hall and Mills out of the offense. That's some big play potential, and you're not even tapping that potential because you're not getting the football.
No, you can't get the ball outside. And I think when you go to halftime, you're down and there's 3 minutes to go. I'm sure Watson Brown's going to have to maybe decide to throw a little bit more on first down, even though he doesn't want to, because he's got a quarterback he's not sure can throw. But he's going to have to open this game up a little bit more. Either you get blown out throwing it on first down and putting it up, or you get back in the ball game. And that's the dilemma facing this man right now, Watson Brown, who's one of the best offensive coaches in the country.
So it is third down, BYU, and they need the 44 of OU. And they just got it on an offside penalty. Pressure on Walsh. He's going to be sacked, but forget it, because defensive linemen, unless they were drawn, are going to be penalized for offsides, and that's enough for the first down if that's the case.
This is a good officiating group, too. This is a Big 8 group. Larry Fisher had him several times. An outstanding official. As you look at Tom Hayes, Southwest Conference, I'm sorry.
So the penalty right here is going to move the chains.
Tom Hayes on the sideline paces alongside of his head coach, saying that, you know, some nights the magic works and sometimes it doesn't. But when you got so much of the brunt put on your shoulders, when the offense is just not getting it done for you, then it turns into an unfair thing, because we've got the number 12 defense in the country.
Well, it's a good point, Ron, because they have to make something happen. They've got to cause a fumble, intercept a pass. They got to be more aggressive than maybe they'd like to be in this situation.
Imuli has 5, 6, and 7, and he's to the 35-yard line as Rod Henderson took his feet out from under him.
Imuli in a ball game this year against New Mexico scored a touchdown, threw the ball in the stands. He said he knew he was going to get the penalty. He said he knew Lavelle Edwards was going to yell at him, but he said just felt like it was the thing to do in that game. They won the game 49, I believe, 47, but he just chucked it up in the stands. And that's a junior. You got to figure he must know Lavelle pretty well. Usually a senior might do that, but not a junior.
I think he knows him extremely well. Tua is going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage and knocked down for a loss of a couple. Again, Simpson outside to make the tackle along with Chase.
You look at BYU offensively tonight, not a lot of success running the football, but as much success as they've had throwing it, why run the ball?
290 yards. We have 145 until halftime, and they're leading 17-0. From the shotgun, pass out in the flat, and that's incomplete. Neely had the ball in his hands, and he dropped that one. So now 4th down.
And you figure they're going to punt him in the hole here. And with 1:34 on the clock, might be an opportunity to fake the punt here. Inside the 40. See if they got a fake called or just try to pin this Oklahoma offense and hope they self-destruct.
Boardman, only the 2nd punt for him in this first half, as his club is up 17-0. Darius Johnson is back in a single safety. He runs away from it, and that's going to take a BYU hop. Just going to roll dead just at the 10-yard line. Well, coming up on the Duracell halftime report, news of the day, Rose Bowl news, and also the Bowl Blitz. Part of that news of the day, Tommy Frazier will be the starting quarterback for the Cornhuskers of Nebraska in that meeting on Sunday evening against Miami.
I think it's a great move by Tom Osborne. He was #1 for a reason, and I think he gives him the best shot to win, although Brooke Behringer could come off the bench and win that ball game. I like Nebraska to win that football game. I think they're better than Miami, and they'll beat them in the Orange Bowl.
Option play is going to be tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a yard loss, and that's Travis Hall, who grabbed a hold of his shoulder pads and brought him down.
If you're a defensive player on BYU, you like this game because you know there's not the threat of the 2 dimensions of the ball game, throwing and running, so you can really pin your ears back. You got an advantage in this ball game of going after this offense. And Travis Hall and Randy Brock, 2 pretty good bookends.
2 guys that have been 3-year starters each. Draw play this time, but it's Moore. He'll take it for a couple.
I think maybe BYU may use a timeout here. They've got 1 left. Try to force the punt, but it looks like they're not going to. They can hold them on 3rd down.
Let it head on down to 24, now 23. Steve Clements, reserve quarterback, standing there behind Walsh as they talk. Interesting line from Lavelle Edwards the other night. We were talking about the strength of John Walsh's arm, and Lavelle said he thought Steve Clements might have had the best arm that he's had at BYU.
Well, he always looks forward to seeing you in those Texas ties.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that is the end of the first half with our score. BYU 17 and Oklahoma nothing. Now let's join Mike Tirico in Miami with the Duracell halftime report.
Okay, Ron, thank you. Welcome to South Florida. Coming up on the Duracell Halftime Report, the Halftime Blitz. We'll preview some of the other big bowls on January 2nd, other than the Rose and the January 1st Orange Bowl. Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that Orange Bowl, too. Decision on who's going to be the quarterback. It's Tommy Frazier. We'll get Lee and Craig's analysis of that. And the running backs, important facet of this game for both teams. And the coach and the pony will break that down as we continue at halftime.
Showcase tonight for the players for Oklahoma. They know Howard Snellenberger's here, but they know this game's not going to mean anything to them when they get into spring practice, the winter program. Coaches, you know, a tough thing is you look at the Oklahoma assistant coaches to prepare for a bowl game knowing you may not have a job. And that's a very difficult situation to put a staff in as Howard and his wife watch the football game here.
This is the 11th play of this drive. Pass incomplete. Mealy is the man that he wanted, a little bit behind him.
And you talk about extremes, Ron. You got BYU staff been together for ages, 100 years. They're recruiting while they're here. They know they're going to be back. They know the food's going to be on the table. They know everything's going to stay the same. On the other side, you got a staff that has to make calls to try to find a job, uncertainty in their family, and you're preparing the same teams for the same game. Big disadvantage for Oklahoma.
Third down and goal from the 5. Got him open. Touchdown BYU, Mike Johnston. Second touchdown for him tonight.
BYU bring both their wide receivers inside. Mike Johnson working outside. John Walsh on the rollout, wide open Mike Johnson. You're seeing him come in motion. Johnston is going to the outside. See both the receivers going inside. Mike Johnston to the outside. The pass is there, and there's no one near Mike Johnston as he scores his touchdown.
Lauder tries to put BYU up 24-0. And he does. So as we go to break, one more look at the touchdown. The second one to Johnston tonight. It is 24-0.
Kick him over to me. I said kick him over to me, Pele.
He took one stolen car, 2 wrong turns, and a beautiful hostage.
You kidnapped me with a candy bar?
Makes a handy weapon.
Time to stop those little yuppie punks now.
Charlie Sheen, Christy Swanson, getting there is twice the fun. The chase.
This could actually work.
Playing on DirecTV.
The next 24 hours could mean everything to Henry Hackett.
You got 5 hours, go get the story.
His wife has had it.
No, wait, stop.
Goodbye, I love you. He's nuts.
His boss is losing it.
You are so fired.
And the biggest story of his life,
I just need a quote from the cops.
You don't have it.
Oh, see, now you're just being silly.
is getting away.
I did today, I did right now.
Michael Keaton, Glenn Close, Marissa Tomei, The Paper.
Playing on DirecTV.
In the end, it all comes down to one great play. That single decisive moment when the incredible becomes reality. Now it's time to choose the best of the greatest. The ESPY Award, given in recognition of exceptional performance. Tune into SportsCenter or hook up with ESPN Net on Prodigy to cast your vote for the outstanding plays and performances of 1994. The ESPY Awards. Presented by General Motors. This time, you make the call.
24-0. Brigham Young on top. 3:55 to play third quarter. Here's the drive. 13 plays, 75 yards, 5 minutes and 17 seconds consumed in that drive for the touchdown. Lauder, the left footer, gets this one high and deep. Jeff Frazier going to watch this one sail out of the base of the end zone. 26 of 38, 355 yards and 3 touchdowns. his jacket on. You have to wonder if that means that Clements will get an opportunity to play in this one on the next series. Michael?
BYU looks very hungry for a bowl win. I mean, they played exciting football tonight. They've been excited.
Drop play. And Moore is going to be stopped at the 25. Mike Adamle, what do you have for us?
Well, Ron, I've been meaning to ask you this question. You know, the NCAA and their never-ending quest to make your job upstairs easier allowed BYU to put these drop shadow numerals on the back of their jerseys, much like the San Francisco 49ers have on their throwback uniforms. You've been clamoring about that all year long. I need to see these players better. Does it work?
Well, listen, it does. I saw that number 66 right there.
That and the length of the games, right, Ron?
That is one thing that, oh my goodness, collision in the backfield as Allen collided with his quarterback.
Plus parking. I mean, we can keep going.
No, none of that is. But the one thing that the Rules Committee in college football needs to address, there is no question, that is linked to football games. Mike, we've talked about it before. College football is not meant to go 3.5, 3:45, and 4 hours, and there sure are a lot of games winding up in that direction. Certainly something can be done with the clock in either the latter stages of each half or whatever combinations they come up with. A running clock from the end of the play like the pros tried a couple of years ago. Brown zings this one, has it complete to his running back Moore. He breaks the tackle and is going to have the first down out at the 31-yard line.
Ron, to put a period on that, I believe you're correct in that. I'd like to see some movement in the clock. Gerald Moore with a good reception from Terrence Brown. Gerald Moore, the most valuable offensive player on this Sooner football team. And the Boomer Sooner is, the band is striking it up here, trying to get this ball club in this one.
And you heard the crowd roar just now on the completed pass because they know that any one of these kids, whether you're talking about Hall or P.J. Mills or if you get it to Moore, Allen, one of those running backs, that get them out there and get them the football and they can do something with it. P.J. Mills on the receiving end here. And that's going to be close to the first down at the 40 as Greg Steele finally grabbed a hold of him, and they're going to say he was pushed out at the 38, so a couple of yards shy.
Look at the Boomer Sooner wagon. The ponies might as well be statues tonight. But I'll tell you what they better do. They better get a long rest this winter because when Howard gets that offense going, those old boys are going to lose some weight running next year.
You may have substitute ponies. Tailback, big opening. Has 5, 6, and 7, and now 8 yards. 1st and 10, Oklahoma. That's Allen with a good burst there. Stan Ross, who they converted from a down lineman to the linebacking position, makes the stop. Only 4 seniors leaving. One of those is the kicker, Scott Blanton. 2 on offense and 1 on defense, and that's it.
His biggest recruit has to be Cedric Jones, though. He's got to keep him at Oklahoma.
Pitch and hit before he gets to the line of scrimmage. That's a nice job defensively as James Allen was attacked by Travis Hall on that play. And I mean attacked.
And Ron, you know, with Howard Snellenberger's past of the quarterbacks he's coached, he'll get some good high school quarterbacks to be interested in his program at Oklahoma. So they'll get some help in their next fall. And of course, we talked about their first 3 games next year. It's a lot different than Gary Gibbs. And you look at Garrett McGee, who's back. So I'm sure Howard can't wait to get this ball club and start working them in the weight room. And I'm sure the football team and everybody involved, the direction will be defined because right now it's a tough situation for everybody.
Green got some blockers in front for Moore. Tripped up, and that is a good job by Corey Cook. And if he doesn't get him, there could have been a lot more yardage downfield.
Good block by Chuck Langston, the center. There's next year's Oklahoma schedule, home, and of course Bill McCartney leaving Colorado. Oklahoma State with a new coach. The annual battle against Texas. Kansas State loses their quarterback. I understand they've been able to recruit a solid junior college quarterback. Of course, Tom Osborne's team always seems to loom big on everybody's schedule.
Harry Stamps, the big left tackle, is the man who is down. That's the reason for the stoppage in play. We have 53 seconds left in this third quarter.
Ron, I want to say about Donnie Duncan, who's the athletic director at Oklahoma. I think he ran about as good a search as you can run. You mentioned it, very quiet. A lot of people go out and don't know how to hire a coach. I think Donnie Duncan did as good a job hiring Howard Snellenberger. I think he's a perfect fit. I'm here to tell you he's going to do great, and I think Donnie Duncan should be commended.
Yeah, I do too. But I know that Donnie is watching tonight. I think his mom had surgery, and he's not able to be here tonight. Let's take a break. 53 seconds left in this third quarter. BYU 24-0.
Every time the driving conditions change, the threats to your car's engine change. That's why Quaker State has engineered intelligent oil. Oil that senses those changing threats and adapts its own molecular structure to protect your engine, whatever the conditions. So, if the temperature changes, so does Quaker State. If the traffic congestion changes, so does Quaker State. The intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Hey, Follies fans, pull up a chair and sit down, because you don't want to miss Sports Illustrated's fabulous Follies Fun Pack, featuring 2 amazing new videos, basketball's NBA Rewind, plus the NFL's 100 Greatest Follies, both free with your paid subscription to SI. In NBA Rewind, Ahmad is always near.
Working here.
NBA stars will do this and also that. In the NFL's 100 Greatest Follies, you get the funniest of all time. So hang on to your shirt, because this could hurt. Call now, and Jolly Ball is what you'll see. It comes in your fun pack free. Get 54 issues of SI for only $1.47 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price. Use your credit card. SI in your free fun pack make great gifts. Check a leg. Call now and get both fun pack videos free from SI. There is nothing in the world like Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
24-0 BYU over Oklahoma with 53 seconds left. Lavelle Edwards is pacing. Wouldn't know by that shot maybe that he was up by 24. But his club has been impressive tonight against an OU team that has really struggled offensively. But when you lose your number 1 at quarterback and your backup has played 5 different offensive positions for you during the year, it becomes extremely difficult. But that's what Brown has done. He played flanker and split in. He played tailback. He also lined up at tight end a few times, and tonight's playing quarterback.
That's a numbers game again. You can get in those kind of problems with the numbers the way they are under this rule situation. 85, a lot of teams don't have even close to 85. And then the limited walk-ons.
And they're going to come with the reverse. P.J. Mills got tripped up and never could regain his balance. That's going to be a loss of 3. So that's going to be the final play of this third quarter. Down to 4, down to 3. And let's take a break. That's the end of the third quarter with our score. BYU 24, Oklahoma nothing.
In 5 minutes, Eva.
Okay, you ready? You look great.
Couldn't do without you, Lee. Especially after...
That's what I'm here for, huh? A few weeks ago, I was getting Eva ready for her close-up when I noticed something. Dandruff. So I told her about Head & Shoulders. The regular shampoos just rinse flakes away so they can come back. Head & Shoulders helps prevent flakes from even forming. You see the difference?
What,
Mark, you look beautiful. Head & Shoulders, because great hair can't have flakes.
Every day, we all find a way. A promise made, a promise kept, giving it our best.
America's most complete source of auto parts, a national warranty program, and customer service only Napa can give. No wonder more people trust Napa to keep their vehicles running.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
The wrong tool can make the job a lot harder. When the job is running a business, Data General gives you tools that make sense. Avion servers and Clarion storage. the right technology and services. So contact Data General. They'll show you exactly how to do it. Data General, bringing common sense to computing.
Dear Midas, as I brake to avoid hitting the nice lady in front of me, I heard an awful clunking noise. I was truly frightened. I called Midas and was told,
You can bring it right down.
Jack inspected my brakes, explained the problem.
It's the brake pads.
And gave me my options. I also found the warranty on brake pads a comforting bonus. Now my brakes work like a charm. Thank you, Catherine Catania.
It could only come from here. Canada, the home of ice. Molson Ice. Ice brewed by North America's oldest brewery to be colder and bolder. Yet smooth as ice. Molson Ice. From the land where ice was born.
Brigham Young 7 in the first, 10 in the second, and 7 in the third for their total of 24. And that's how we stand headed to the final 15 minutes. John Walsh has had a really outstanding evening. A couple of touchdown passes to Johnston. Third down. Brown losing his footing as he tries to throw the pass. He just lost his balance and was staggering down as he threw it. And it'll be fourth down.
I don't want to come back to the walk-on situation, and you and I have talked about that rule this year, the limited walk-ons. Talking to Grant Taft, who's the president of the American Football Coaches Association, he said they found that this year less players are playing college football. They did not come out. Once the rule stated you can only have 25, the other players didn't come out because the team was already made. And I just think that's a lousy rule made by somebody who doesn't understand walk-ons or football, and I hope they get that one thrown out.
I do too. You know how much I agree with that. Jason Cooper with the fair catch, and he'll make it at the 23. That is a 22-yard kick. Now here are the numbers on Walsh. He's thrown for 355 yards on 26 completions. He's attempted 38, has 3 touchdowns, and there have been no interceptions. Probably should have been 1, but Fogle lost it in the lights is the only thing we could figure, because he certainly had it or had drawn a bead on it. All of a sudden he just couldn't come up with it.
Ron, I think we'll see Clements here real soon. I think this is probably it for John Walsh. I would think it would be anyway.
Play action, pumped it once, going to go on top. Got his man there, Doman. Complete across midfield at the 42-yard line of OU. .36 yards in the pass play.
Bryce Doman is going to get free of Larry Bush. There's the pump fake and then the takeoff. Larry Bush bit on the out route, and ball thrown right on the money by John Walsh. He has not made many mistakes tonight.
Atuwaya checks into the lineup, number 22. Walsh looking for him, in fact, telling him to go downfield. That's who he throws it to, and just a little too high. Larry Bush with the cover.
Talk about good field presence. John Walsh on the move, giving the direction to his receiver to work up the field against Larry Bush. Awareness is something you like in a quarterback. John Walsh is aware of everybody on this field.
Mike, let me ask you one other thing. You talked about one of the things that if he, he doesn't have many negatives about his game, but that he is not extremely swift of foot. But he also seems to have a feel for the rush. Now, how important is that?
I think that's very important, because in a system where you have checkdowns like BYU, what I mean by that is his receivers checking down in short routes all the time. He's able to find them. Now, Jim McMahon hit a good point with Mike Adamley. The system's going to be important to where John Walsh goes. But I said, the only negative you can find, he cannot escape the rush. Now, he has tonight. I don't know how much of a rush this has been by Oklahoma, but he's been able to escape tonight. I don't know if he has the escapability in the NFL to get away from those people at this present time. He's going to be a player in the NFL, there's no doubt.
And boy, they have stayed away from Cedric Jones, or they have done something to keep him out of his hair.
Give James Johnson some credit because he's been able to handle him one-on-one, because the one thing BYU does not want to do in their offense is tie up a running back on a blocking scheme. They like to release him.
Nowatzki on the middle screen, and he'll take it to the 35. I'll tell you what, if Simpson does not come up into the middle of that fray and make that hit, the three blockers were beyond him. I think he's still running for 6 more, isn't he?
Oh, there's no doubt. And then what this reminds me of, one team wants to play right here, and the other team is just going through the motions. I don't say they've quit, but they're just going through the motions right now.
Going to have to hurry to get this one in motion. Play clock is down to 13, now down to 12. And they need the 31.5-yard line. Walsh, boy, he got pressure that time from Jones, throws it away. And probably Jones is going to get up and say, where was a holding call, because Jones was literally tackled. Maybe that's the reason he has not been on the quarterback.
That's a good point, because David Campbell did get a rush also with Cedric Jones, but it looked like Cedric Jones was tackled on the play. But David Campbell saying, hey, I can't get there. I'm being held.
Well, here it is right there.
There's the tackle.
Yeah,
Tim Hanshaw. Big time wrestling there.
Oh, I'm telling you, embraced more than a newborn.
Yeah.
So the Sooners take it over on first down. Pressure on the quarterback. Throws it incomplete. Wow. He either gets it intercepted, almost gets his back killed. That's Jeff Frazier. That thing was just doomed from the get-go.
Lavelle Edwards said about Shane Muirbrook, who made the tackle on the receiver there. He said he works hard every down. He never coasts. In great physical condition, and he stays on the field. When you look at BYU, I wonder when the last time they shut out somebody, because they're in a league where there's always points scored. And our crack staff will check that, I'm sure.
Second down, little running play this time. It's Chandler. And his first carry tonight, he'll take it for 3. Ross comes up to make the hit on him.
Ron, our friend, good friend Carl Benson, the commissioner of this black league, I'm sure he's going to make this league, he's going to help them make great strides with the addition of the 3 Southwest schools, Southwest Conference schools. What do you think of that? The 3 schools going to the WAC.
Happy for them, and I think that, I think they can contribute. Pass complete deep over the middle, and it's Albert Hall who comes up on the receiving end. And I think the kids from Rice may surprise some people with the football that Kenny Hatfield has got those youngsters playing down there. Fred did a great job. Goldsmith, Kenny came in this year, and they have maintained. Like I said, I'm happy for those schools, and they've got a place to go, because all of a sudden the Southwest just crumbled. So let's take a break. 11:47 left in the ball game. 24-0 BYU.
How much longer can he last on that battery?
You know, he just doesn't get it. Duracell batteries outlast all other brands. Hey, Larry, sometime today?
Larry Doty for the birdie.
Hooked it. That should cost him a stroke.
Herb.
Okay, I'll get him down.
Herb.
The copper top. Tops them all.
The landscaping fell victim to the insect plague of 2004. Around 2019, a new use was found for automobiles. And by 2030, the house was on its 7th paint job. In truth, about all that's lasted since 1995 is the lifetime finish on the Weiser Brilliance brass handle set. Weiser Brilliance. Weathers a lifetime.
Todd and Celia Unger aren't overly concerned with how to chart a course for their retirement. That's because they work with a broker from Dean Witter.
We measure success one investor at a time.
5, 4, 3. The champagne's not Corbel.
3, 4. Corbel, for people who know champagne.
The Weiser Lock Copper Bowl, presented by Ford, is brought to you by Weiser Lock, quality lock sets since 1904. And in part by the Arizona Office of Tourism. For travel information, call 1-800-842-8257.
Ron Franklin along with Mike Gottfried and Mike Adamle with 11:47 left in our ball game. It's Brigham Young, 24-0.
Oh, he's right behind the Oklahoma.
People of Tucson have done a nice job of this bowl. They'd like to have it like the Fiesta Bowl someday.
Mm-hmm.
And they're making great strides.
16, 28. 16, 28.
Rolls the pocket, has a man wide open, and he hits him. That's Moore. Gets by one, and he'll take it to the 34-yard line. It's a good example of just what we've seen on a couple of plays in this drive, that with any semblance of a passing game, there are some weapons that the Sooners can get out there to you.
Well, once you throw the football and you establish the throwing game, which they have not been able to do tonight, their ground game then would take over. But because they haven't been able to establish the passing game, BYU's stacked the deck with 8 people at the line of scrimmage, so there's no running game.
Man coverage on the outside, and the safety's just kind of hugging in there. Option, pitches this one back, and losing his footing is Allen. Let's go down and check with Mike Adamle. Mike.
Carl Benson, the commissioner of the Western Athletic Conference, and big plans for your conference starting in 1996, Carl. Tell us about the realignment.
It really is, Mike. We'll go from 10 teams to 16 teams in the fall of 96, bringing in TCU, SMU, and Rice from the Southwest Conference, University of Tulsa, University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and San Jose State to become the largest conference in the country.
Well, 2 divisions, 8 teams in each division, and then 2 smaller divisions, 4 and 4.
Well, we'll keep, geographically, we'll keep 4 schools together for scheduling purposes, but they will be in a division, and we'll have a conference championship December 1996, televised on ESPN.
Will the realignment permit you to compete for a national championship?
We'll still be in the at-large pool for the 3 alliance games, and based on the success that we've had this season, we're very confident that we'll be a factor in future championship games.
Well, Utah won the Freedom Ball over Arizona. BYU looks like a sure winner tonight, and then Colorado State tomorrow against Michigan. You've had a great year. It's
been a great year, a great season, great bowl season, and we hope that it can continue through next year and into expansion, Mike.
Okay, Carl, best of luck. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Carl Benson, commissioner of the WAC Conference.
Okay, Mike Adamle, thanks, and our best to Carl. He really has done an outstanding job. And, of course, we knew him, Mike, well before he went to the WAC Conference.
He's top-notch. The WAC's had a big year this year. They've had a lot of success against the Pac-10.
Now look at this, Colorado State, number 12. In fact, it all started with them right here in the stadium. And they came down here and shocked a previously unbeaten Arizona team. And they did it with their own form of defense. It was one of those touchdowns that they wanted with came off a defensive play, a fumble return.
And if you remember, in 1976, Arizona was a member of the WAC. So the WAC teams like nothing better than to knock off Arizona and Arizona State because they left the WAC to go to the Pac.
4th down for Oklahoma. Brown gets his pass away, and he has it complete. And let's see, they give him a favorable spot. That's going to be enough for the first down. Albert Hall on the receiving end.
That was a nice pass by Terrence Brown. Albert Hall with the reception. Greg Steele had pretty good coverage, but the ball was thrown right on the spot. You see the coverage by Greg Steele, and he did get a favorable spot.
You can see him leaning forward. Now it looks like they're going to take time and bring that. They're going to bring the chain from all the way across. Yep.
Terrence Brown has kept fighting tonight, Ron. He was slow to start, but he has hung in there and trying to get this offense moving.
Well, he's got it by more than the length of the football. So a first down for the Sooners and their deepest penetration of the night, as the line of scrimmage is going to be at about the 23.5-yard line.
The last time BYU did shut out a team was 92, right? 1992.
New Mexico, yes.
Mexico. So they'd like to keep Oklahoma out of that end zone, but Oklahoma's used to scoring points, and they want in there.
Last time that the Sooners were shut out was up in Columbia, Missouri, 10-0 by the Tigers.
I wonder if that probably was Warren Powers was coaching Missouri at that time. They were pretty good in '83.
Handoff, breaks the tackle, breaks another, and the stop made finally at the 16 as Moore just wouldn't go down, and Cook was there to put the stop on him.
It had to be Barry Switzer against Warren Powers, and that didn't happen very many times. Gerald Moore with a good little quick dive play here. Carried the ball 8 times tonight. They thought that they'd like to get him the ball 20-25 times tonight, but just have not had the ball enough offensively.
Straight ahead with the running play inside the 10-yard line. First and goal, Sooners. Cook on the stop. And Allen with a good weaving move up the middle.
Just think of Oklahoma, Ron, a proud program. You know they're going to be back. It's just a matter of when. And I would say next season, look for this ball club to be a top 20 football team. And when you say that, maybe somebody's out there scratching their head a little bit saying this same team we're watching tonight, but this is a talented football team.
If people don't go to the pros, they've all but 3 people coming back next year. They just got to have a trigger man.
I'm putting them in the top 20 right now. They're going to be there next year.
Here comes a flag as some scuffling went on out away from the line of scrimmage. 3 flags are down after the play was over.
Dead ball, personal foul on the defense, automatic first down at the distance of the goal line.
Looks like they're going to make that call on Jamie Crook, number 27, as he goes to the sideline.
So it's a first and goal for the Oklahoma Sooners. The ball just outside the 2-yard line. 9:13 to play. Touchdown OU. Moore gets into the end zone for the Sooners.
Go for 2 points here, Ron, to try to get within 16 if they can make it.
And Sooners going to have to call a timeout because either not enough or not the proper personnel on the field. So we'll take a break. We'll be right back to Tucson.
The landscaping fell victim to the insect plague of 2004. Around 2019, a new use was found for automobiles. And by 2030, the house was on its 7th paint job. In truth, about all that's lasted since 1995 is the lifetime finish on the Wiser Brilliance brass handle set. Wiser Brilliance weathers a lifetime.
It takes 10 times longer to make than some California champagnes. Maybe that's why some folks like it 10 times better. Cordon Negro Brut by Freshenet. There's a party in every bottle.
Billions of years ago, the only place to get a nice gift was the airport. A good meal, the airport. Rent a wheel, the airport. That's why Thrifty Car Rental opened in your neighborhood. Now we're making it easier than ever before to rent really great wheels at very neighborly rates. And if you're at the airport, we're in that neighborhood too. Your neighborhood Thrifty Car Rental, historically known for low rates.
24-6 as the Sooners get into the end zone. Moore scoring the touchdown. And now OU goes for a pair, trying to cut it to 16.
They're going to flex Steven Alexander, the tight end, to try to get him a little one-on-one with a strong safety.
Gets it away and not close. Ulafale with some real pressure coming up the middle at him. Might help force that pass a little bit sooner and off his mark. So it's 24-6 as you look at the touchdown.
Bruce McClure, the left guard, number 73, is going to make the trap block. Left guard, 73. Bruce McClure on the trap. Gerald Moore, just a quick hitting play, gets to the end zone for the Oklahoma touchdown.
Well, the Thrifty Car Rental Bowl week on Sunday. This is where we're going to be heading to the Peach Bowl in Atlanta. NC State against Mississippi State. A couple of 8-3 football teams. One for the ACC, the other from, of course, the SEC. That's an 8 o'clock Eastern time kick. Then on Monday, the Hall of Fame Bowl from Tampa. Wisconsin against the Duke Blue Devils, 11 a.m. Eastern time. That's where Mike Gottfried, Mike Adamle, and I will be come Monday. Travis Hall on the sideline for Brigham Young as the Cougars gave up a touchdown, but still they have done a very consistent job tonight.